I've got a new British Touring Car champion. Congratulations to Tom Ingram, winning his first title of the weekend at Brands Hatch. Tom, Nick, thanks for joining me again on this. It'll be final BTCC podcast of the year. Did you enjoy the finale? Enjoy the season? Tom Ingram more of a winner?
Yeah, it was very good to see. Haven't had a new champion for a while.
Exactly that, yeah. Always nice to have a new champion, and he's been winning races and in contention long enough, right? So congratulations.
And not to brag or anything, but I predicted it at the start of the year. So I got that one right, at least.
Well done. There's no prize, though, on the Final Corner podcast.
No jammy wagon wheels getting sent around this time.
They get smashed to pieces.
So yeah, Tom Ingram came out on top. It was a four-way title fight going into the weekend. Well, it was billed as a four-way title fight. Colin Turkington was quite a bit out of it, but he was still there. Then we had Sutton and Hill closely behind Tom Ingram going into the final round, I believe. Qualifying, the Ting man took pole, I think, by 4/10 of a second.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Can we ban expressions like that, though?
Tingram, Ting man, the Ting.
Yeah.
The big Ting. No. Okay.
But yeah, incredible gap, considering as well he's up there in the championships as fewer hybrid vaults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 4/10 in British touring cars is massive.
Yeah, ridiculous, but so good.
Only 1,000ths between Butcher and Sutton, though. That's also ridiculously small. In fact, everyone else is close. It's just Ingram on his own.
Yeah.
Standout for me was Dexter.
Get in there, Sonny Jim.
Dexter Patterson. 7th place, miles ahead of Aidan Moffat, and 2/10 off of 2nd place.
That's wild.
Yeah. Didn't
Not bad for
work out
Ricky.
for him, but never mind.
I think at the start of the year we're quite sceptical as to his performance, right? But while he's not had amazing results, he's been there or thereabouts with his teammate, which is all you can do, right?
Yeah.
And then this, apart from here, which is a standout performance.
Bobby Thompson in 6th as well.
Yeah, boy. In the last podcast you said, I've not seen anything of him this year.
Yeah, seen a bit of him this week as it was going on, I think, to win his Jack Sears trophy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Jack Sears champion.
Cal Boulder was back as well this weekend.
Kind of.
Filling in, yeah, well, some of it.
Could have fooled me.
Filling in for Nick Powell, I believe.
Still out-qualified one of his teammates, at least.
Yeah, it's someone else, Powell. I can't remember. Nick Powell is the footballer we spoke about before.
Oh,
Will.
I got it wrong. Will Powell.
Thank you, yep. That's it.
I've got a neck on my head for that. Don't know how. So yeah, it's the qualifying set up the weekend nicely. It was Ingram, Butcher, Sutton, Camish, Hill, and then Turkington down in 10th with some work to do.
So hybrid failure and issues during qualifying for Turkington, which I'm sure impeded him in some way. I also note here that Carl Baldley qualified in 26 twice according to the BTCC website.
Nice.
Oh, that's so good, they had to show it twice.
Yeah.
Carl's, I think they said it currently. I've never actually seen him perform brilliantly in the BTCC, even though he's done well in other series. But don't know if another year he would show it. He owns half the licenses, so he could probably come back if he wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he'd formally retired from BTCC, but then he was back for this one round. I could be wrong there. But yeah, easy to forget he owns a couple of licenses.
That'd be a nice wee earner for him every year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, race 1?
Yeah.
Okay, race 1. Ingram got a good start, kept the lead into turn 1. Jake Hill tried to squeeze in between the two Napa Fords and bashed the back of Sutton's car. And every single race that Sutton's been in for like the past 3 meets, that rear wheel arch has been flapping.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Are they designed to deliberately deform in that way or fall off? I don't know if it's an advantage. Is it an aero advantage, like an extra bit of downforce?
Well, if he was in F1 and his name was Kev Magnussen, he'd be in the pits every time.
Yeah, indeed.
I was thinking, is it black and orange worthy? It's weird because it was like a wing thing addendum, it's not really. But if it was the actual wing itself, it probably would be.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a grey area, if you ask me. Which no one did, but
No. But there's a bit of damage at the start between these two. Sutton was slow all race. Turns out afterwards they had turbo issues. But then wasn't that quick in the other race, so I think probably just didn't have the pace in the car.
crippling understeer by the looks of things.
Mm.
Camish ran wide at the hairpin and dropped back. They were kind of talking before the race that he'd be able to help Sutton by being in front, and then immediately chucked it away.
I don't think it really helped him all weekend, really.
No, he was never in place.
I think in that one, he was trying to make sure he stayed ahead of Hill by sort of going around the outside while Sutton was on the inside, but he just left it way too late.
Yeah. Didn't really make progress forward. In fact, neither of the Fords did, right? They'd clearly nailed their qualifying process. But after 2 laps, it looked like from the outside looking in, it chewed its tyres.
Mm-hmm.
There was also a safety car, wasn't there, at the start, because Aaron Taylor-Smith made contact with someone that broke the suspension.
Yeah.
Spun off.
Yeah,
Another...
I think it was one of the Vauxhalls during the middle of the sector plus Spanish hand. Dexter Patterson got shoved off at the start as well, didn't Graham Hill?
Oh, that was the most disappointing move of the race.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't get to show what you could do. And it wrecks your weekend in one corner.
It does. He looked really cautious in the first few corners before that, and I think he just didn't want to be involved in the title fight. And I think maybe that sort of helped, or rather hindered his performance in those first few corners. But that's just me guessing.
Maybe you're right, yeah.
So, safety car, as you said, Taylor Smith off, and Ingram absolutely nailed this restart.
Yeah.
It went just as he's coming out the penultimate corner, though, at 90-degree left-hander, which is called...
Oh, was that my cue?
Yeah, I was looking at you.
It was.
Not that you can tell I was looking at you, because I'm looking at a screen, but I was looking at you.
Sterling's.
He nails it out of there, and Butcher and Sutton are nowhere.
It's really bad, but Butcher and Sutton there, isn't it? Are they half asleep?
Well,
I mean, Harvey was hypothesising, well, Sutton's doing it to back up, but I think at this point he might not even know that he's got tyre wear issues or turbo, or who knows. But
he said the turbo went on the first lap. So I think Sutton can be forgiven for being further back, but
not Butcher.
Butcher, no.
No, wakey, Rory. Camish got up inside the Cook at Hawthorne, and that allowed both Turkington and Jella to get past. Turkington, it was nice in this race to see him actually racing people and making moves rather than his usual just sitting back.
It said something like, aggressive Colin only comes out for the final round each year.
Yes.
In one of the interviews, it might not have been aggressive, but feisty, something like this.
Yeah.
Which is true.
It is.
So that was Cook. Every time the camera went to him, he was getting mugged by someone.
Well, yeah.
It was trying around the outside, which is never a good move, is it?
No. So we get another safety car as Carl Bordley's off, as is Rick Parfitt at Hawthorne. Didn't see a replay, but Parfitt's 90 degrees against the faraway barriers straight ahead of the corner, and Bordley's in the gravel.
Yeah, so he didn't look happy either, Baldley, so I'm guessing he was the aggrieved party in this one, but I don't know that.
Did either of you notice that they didn't actually really recover those cars?
Yeah, they just left them there. I thought that was a bit dodgy.
It was a bit weird. It's like, we're going to have a safety car. No, we can't. Right, well, we've got to finish this race. Press on.
Yeah,
I don't know. Some other spots would have red flagged it or something, and then restarted, right?
Yeah, I think they just dragged Bordley's car to the side and hoped it was at the firing line.
But Parfitt's car ended up there, so there's nothing to say someone else couldn't end up there.
Yeah.
Just ask Dan Camish about that corner.
They were under time pressure.
Exactly.
Because that incident which I shared with you two with the Porsches beforehand, that meant that the whole day was very tight on time. So I think that's a contributing factor. That's not a reason or an excuse, because it should still be safe regardless, but I think that was why.
Now you've mentioned it, shall we briefly touch upon this?
Yeah.
I know we're not going in order, but Will Martin speared off in the Porsche. Is it called Super Cup or Carrera Cup? Oh man, that's so
Carrera
bad.
Cup.
Carrera Cup, and went over the barriers, didn't he? Onto the little marshal's hut.
Mm.
Oh man, that was scary.
Yeah.
Luckily, I think, though, there's a fence that runs along the side of the marshal's hut, so he was parked on the fence and just not the hut.
Yeah.
Which was lucky that was there. Otherwise, those marshals were getting crushed under a Porsche, which was a bit dodgy.
I mean, one of them stayed inside the hut, right?
Yeah.
Popped out at the
He
end.
came out a few seconds afterwards. Yeah.
Too bad. He
Oh,
got
it was a
shot.
Porsche.
Trying to have a cup of tea in here.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a bit dodgy.
It was. But yeah, it was good to see that nothing came of it.
Oh, very, very relieved. Yeah, happy days.
Mm.
So we get another restart, and it's the exact same relay again by Ingram. He
But you
nails
did
it.
learn.
Now, is it fool me once, shame on you? Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah,
Is that the phrase?
it is.
I butchered
We'll
that
roll with
one. Hey. Bobby Thompson's making moves at the restart though. He gets past Hill. He's challenging Sutton. It's great racing. Why have we not seen him all year? Come on, TV man, show me more Bobby Thompson.
Yeah.
We just want Bobby Thompson cam.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit unfortunate. He did leave Hill like a gap down into Graham Hill at one point, and then he obviously got nudged out wide, didn't he? And then fell back, which was a bit sad.
Yeah.
But it was a fantastic performance and exciting racing between the three of them.
I was gutted about that because he had just taken the position back from Hill on quite a nice move at Druids, and then left the door, then turned in, and that was poor Bobby because it was going so well.
Hill was not desperate, but maybe he was. He was driving like a man possessed.
Yeah.
Expression. But I suppose also Sutton was defending for his life, Aidan Moffat style.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, well, Hill needed to get past Sutton at this point to have any chance of getting towards Ingram, and he couldn't do it at that point in the race. So that contact with Thompson at Graham Hill Bend dropped Hill, put down a couple of places behind Morgan and Turkington as well. So it was a little bit of hope Turkington could put it back in this, but not to be. Hill then retakes fourth for the two BMWs, and then we see Ollie Jackson out the race with damage. Then we finally see Jake Hill get past Sutton. Dingledale, I've got noted here. Hill squeezes the door open at Dingledale and then gets through Sheen Curve up the inside in a really nice move.
Excellent
take
corner
third
use.
place.
Yes.
Your names there.
Good old Dickerdale.
It was a massive slide as well, wasn't it, that Sutton got punted into by Morgan through there.
I was assist race. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you watch it back, the angle seems to be more ludicrous each time I watch that.
Yeah. It's so
Wild.
well held.
Well held. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's narrow there. It's tricky, but he kept the throttle down.
Yeah. But he kept the speed up as well. That's what was most impressive.
Yeah.
End of the race, Turkington got Morgan and was pressurising Sutton but couldn't get past him. So it meant Tom Ingram won from Butcher and Hill on the podium, Sutton fourth, Turkington fifth. Set up the day nicely.
Yeah. And George Gamble 8th, I should point out.
Yes. Very good to see him on TV this week. He was doing well.
Did you notice as well that this was Ingram's first ever Brands GP win?
Ah.
I did.
I thought that was quite an incredible stat considering his career.
Yeah, right. Of all the places,
Yeah.
so many seasons in the championship, and
And
now's the time to do it, eh?
Indeed. But Louise said that to him at the end of the race, and he was like, really?
Oh, really?
He was surprised about it.
He comes from the Plato School of Media Relations, eh?
Yes, well, his entire championship is down to Plato. We know that.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, we might as well.
Yeah.
I just wanted to flag a couple of small things before we move on. Is that all right? I thought
Cool.
Colin Turkington did a low-key, amazing overtake. I think it was around the outside of Morgan. Was it at Paddock Hill? It was in amongst everything going on, and I just thought, oh, okay, no one really goes around the outside of there and pulls it off. I just thought, fair play, Colin, you can do it. And the other thing was, when you mentioned there Jackson had damage, and we saw him crawl around, and then we saw him pull over. Why did he pull over at the pit lane entrance?
Was that where
And
he
not
stopped?
go in the pit lane? It was really weird. He stopped on the grass next to the pit lane entrance.
He maybe couldn't get it up the hill.
I don't know. It's really weird. He's like meters away from the pit lane entrance, in my opinion. I mean, his wheel's falling off, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He parked it in a safe place, so credit to that. But
Well, that's true.
it's at the pit lane entrance. And we don't see what happened with that, do we? Either, like why?
I know he came together with Dexter Patterson.
Oh yes, we did see a bit of it. Yeah, sideways at Surtees, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. But I wasn't entirely sure. Oh, I think Dexter had a bit of a dive, didn't he?
Yeah, we didn't actually see it in the replay. It didn't show you the start of it happening. You just sort of saw Jackson. You don't know if Patterson had a dive or Jackson turned in really from the angle.
Yeah.
Well, Patterson retired the same lap. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
it was
I'll
a
take
big.
it.
It was a heavy hit. Yeah.
Any more, Tom?
And well, Josh got the verbal warning for punting out Patterson on that one. That was it.
Oh, and Bobby Thompson was crowned JST champion after this. Sorry, Jack Sears Trophy champion.
There'll be no abbreviations on this podcast.
Yes, I should remember that.
No abbreviations, no nicknames.
Mm.
No fun.
Yeah, good old Bobby T.
Yes, I might be a hypocrite there because I might have said Bobby T. Oh, well.
Shedden also retired in this race as well.
He-
Again, wasn't real quick this weekend, and then retired on lap 13.
I don't remember seeing him all weekend, to be honest.
Yeah.
So in this race, he tried to go around the outside of Jelly at Stirling's, got on the curb, which then sucked him on the grass, and he fell down to basically last.
Mhm.
Because in that moment, the field was quite close. Maybe it was after a safety car. And obviously, all the way down clearways to Clark Curve is where you need some speed, and he was on the grass on the outside.
Yeah.
And if he retired, I can only assume, rightly or wrongly, that maybe his radiator was filled with grass. Or he just gave in.
Either I wouldn't blame him for it,
Yeah.
to be honest.
I think he was up there fighting for the bottom end of the top 10, and then he made that error of judgment.
Well, the man who does the results page, he's on the BTC website, is keen with the doubles this weekend. So Jack Patel finished 19th twice, and Dexter Plato
Oh, yeah.
retired twice.
Just to come rub it in.
Yep.
Mm.
So, race 1 in the bag. All good.
All good.
Race 2. It was Ingram on pole again with the championship, not the championship, the race result restrictions on the hybrid to this race.
Mm-hmm.
Butcher attacked around the outside of the paddock and Druids at the start, but Ingram just managed to keep him behind.
Mm.
And that was Tom. Pretty much. Well done, him.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Jelly tried to get Gamble around the left hand side of the final corner and then ends up a gaggly 6 cars squabbling behind Gamble.
Yeah.
Standard.
Gamble then got a 5-second penalty for start infringement,
Mm-hmm.
which is a shame. But
Yeah.
that pack of 6 cars, I was just going, this is going to be our last meeting of the season. 5 of those are going to end up on the roof.
Yeah.
But they'll manage to sort it out quite well. Sutton and Turkington had a good fight for 4th. Turkington had a few dives on him, but Ash managed to hold him off for most of the race. I think he then got him at Surtees at one point late
Yes,
in the
he
race.
did, yeah.
Hill managed to take second up inside the Druids after Butcher had a big slide through Parrot Hill Bend, which looked a bit scary.
It did.
Hmm.
And then Butcher let him through a little bit after that, I think. Not deliberately,
I
but
think
he didn't defend it after that moment, did he?
Yeah. Get the points.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hill into second, then challenged Ingram, but he was never really close enough to get the position. And then
Yeah.
Turkington took the final podium position in this race.
Yeah, it was a quieter one, this, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I mean, apart from Jake Hill literally hanging it out every corner at the end.
Oh my word! Yeah, it was edge of the seat stuff from Hill,
Yeah.
which is the opposite of Turkington.
Yes.
I think BMW won the manufacturers' championship in this race.
Mm. By not changing
Otherwise-
their engines.
By not changing their engines. Yeah, we'll touch upon that.
Yeah. So that was race 2, won by Ingram. Put himself, I think, in 11 or 12 point lead going into the final round.
Mm-hmm.
And then the man himself, the living legend, Jason Plato, in his final weekend, pulled out Dan Lloyd to put on pole for the final race.
I was getting a bit emotional then. Was I alone?
I think so.
Sort of.
They did an opening interview / montage with him to open the broadcast, didn't they? That was
Yeah, that was nice.
sentimental. Yeah.
I still have a feeling we will see him next year. I don't think in a drive. I think he will have like the one-off appearance replacing someone somewhere.
Surely ITV would employ him as a pundit.
Ooh.
Would he want to do that?
Would I like that or not? Is the question. He's entertaining, but would he just get annoying?
Well, we'll find out next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least he wouldn't do a Tim Harvey, where every time there's a championship fight going on, Harvey has to mention the fact that, oh, I won this title.
1992.
Yeah.
Every year.
But to be fair, if you did it, you would as well.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm more frustrated with the ITV producers who always allow him to go down that route.
Yeah.
It was surprising I didn't see a montage about 1992 this year.
That's true.
But it usually is. Yeah.
30 years as well.
Yeah.
Oh
That's a
yeah.
good point, yeah.
Come
Missed
on.
a trick there, didn't they?
Where's your video package, Tim?
Yeah.
Go on the bossies. If you can hear clicking clacking in the background here, my dog has decided to join us.
I thought that was the
Oh,
case.
hey Eric.
Yeah.
Hi, Eric. I'm trying to keep him on the rugs, the soft surfaces. Otherwise you can hear him. So any more in race 2?
No.
No, all good.
So race 3 we had Dan Lloyd on pole, and he managed to keep the lead at the start. Aaron Morgan got a lightning getaway and managed to get himself up to third, but going round outside I wanted to say Duffers there, but it's Paddock Hill and then round the Druids. Did well. Camish then runs deep at Druids again and drops to 7th, not helping anyone there again.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Ingram and Hill were side by side going down Paddock Hill at the start, and fair play to them, they kept it clean, because it would have been easy to just nudge the other one off and you've got a title.
Mm-hmm.
Which I would be sorely tempted to do, in all honesty. After that one, both Ingram and Hill got past Turkington really easily. Thought Colin could have probably helped his teammate a bit more there.
Definitely.
It was a good dive from Ingram though, and quite bold. He didn't have to do it, right?
No,
So fair play.
I think he was worried about being pinned between the BMWs.
Yeah,
He's like, I need to do it. But Turkington didn't really do much there. He then got pushed off the track at exit surtees by George Gamble, and has rejoined. He rejoined and ended up clipping Dan Rowbottom, who spun across the track with broken suspension.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well
that's a bit
caught.
nasty.
Well caught.
that could have been a huge incident, side impact, but he sort of spun around, didn't he? And when he was spinning, he was actually not controlling the spin, but setting the car up to make it rotate back round again. So it was well done. But I have an alternative theory. It was Ricky Collard's fault, right?
Was it? Go for it. Tell me.
I think Colin rejoins obviously an awkward place, but I think he does it relatively safely. Rowbottom sees that and there's half a car between him and Turkington. Collard's got the run on both of them and goes for the gap between them, which spears Rowbottom into Turkington like this.
Yeah. Collard was definitely the one that hit them, wasn't he?
Yeah, whether or not that's like, I guess there was no penalty for that or anything. Whether or not it's deemed as Turkington was moving left and Rowbottom was moving to the right or whatever. And I can't be a racing driver. And hindsight's a wonderful thing, right? And Ricky Collard can't pause the race and rewind and whatever. But he didn't have to go for that gap. That's my opinion.
Yeah. The way I sort of saw it, but from the front on angle, is it looked like Collard had the run, and then as Turkington's come back on, Collard's then immediately veered to the left to avoid him, and then gone straight into Rowbottom without realising he's there.
Maybe.
That's how I
Good
read
point.
it, but I'm not sure. Because it was
We'll
a
go
very
with that.
sharp move to the left that he made.
It was, yeah. I mean, I just felt, from my perspective, it was a bit dunderheaded. Like, you could always back off or brake. But I think you're probably right. We'll give the benefit of the doubt. He probably was trying to do it in avoidance.
But it was amazing that no one else hit him when he was spinning down that straight as well.
Oh, yeah. Incredible. Everyone was like on the grass, weren't they? And very well done for everyone to avoiding it as well.
Yeah, because no one hit anyone else further back either. There wasn't like a concertina thing.
Well, they have a lot of practice because often these safety cars are called very late, right?
Well, yeah, there is that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. F1's a big culprit for those kind of things this week, though. So, next episode, we'll get to that. Next episode. We do get a safety car, though, because Rick Parfitt Jr. is off again. I don't know why.
How many times have we said that this season?
We didn't see a replay, right? I just see
No.
he was gesticulating. He was like putting his hands in the air.
Yeah.
And
Whinging at
the
Butel.
commentator's like, "Oh, it's probably Butel."
Jet Butel. We need an
It
award
did look
for
like
him.
a Hyundai he was aiming at, but you couldn't see it clearly on the coverage.
No, it was definitely Butel or Chilton, and everyone just assumes
Yeah.
it's Butel.
Yeah.
If in doubt, it's Jack.
Yeah.
Poor man. Yeah, so he's off, safety car. And then, heartbreak again. As the safety car comes out, Bobby Thompson running in second place. Then something breaks in the car. He has to pull off. And, Bobby. That'd have been
That was
great
a-
second place.
That could have been a locked-on podium for me there. Even if Cook gets past, there was still a good gap for third.
Yeah.
So it was a head gasket issue, and that also reared up in race 2, which left them without much power.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't replace it between race 2 and 3, and then it obviously went.
Ah.
I also just want to go straight back to Ricky Collard. He was given 2 penalty points for the incident.
Ah.
Those will come in handy.
Yeah.
Because then he retired immediately afterwards. So, yeah, we'll come to retirements at the end, but
Yeah.
shame. So what else have we got? Laurie Butcher took third from Sutton through Parallel Bend and, well, pretty much ended any hope Ash win the title now.
Yeah.
That was a nice move, held up the inside of Druids. Hill then took Ingram through Sheen, and a similar move to the one he made earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lovely move again, which gave him a sniff of getting towards the front, but then it all falls apart for him pretty soon after. Morgan's then spun by Dan Camish at Druids, which then allows Ingram and I think Hill through right onto the back of Sutton.
So that didn't help Sutton again, did it?
No. Dan was a
There's
pretty
a theme
horrendous teammate this weekend. Everything he could do to help his teammate, he did the opposite, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
'Cause it's still on at this point. You know,
It
it
is.
was like an 8-point gap or something. You know, in that spinning moment for Morgan, Ingram could have easily got caught up in that.
Mm-hmm. And at one point as well, I wasn't really sure if Sutton was slow or if he was trying to back uphill into the pack or into Ingram to sort of kick something off. I genuinely think he was just slow, to be honest.
We have to say he's just slow based on the previous 2 races, right?
Yeah. And he was running an extreme setup.
Allegedly, yeah.
Yes, that he had no involvement in, apparently. His engineer
Yeah,
just
which
said,
says to
"We've
me-
gone mental on it."
Yeah, but that could be mind games, right?
Yeah.
It could be the exact same setup. And then, all of a sudden, you know, car's fixed. You know, maybe they were trying the mental game, you never know, right?
Yeah.
yeah, bad end to season for Camish. I felt sorry for Morgan there because he was quite punchy all weekend and then got screwed.
A couple of
in that
weekends in a row. In fact, that's his season really summed up. Could have done
Yeah.
well. It gets sort of mugged sometimes, Alex Silverstone a few times by accident, or unfortunate scenarios, and loses lots of points.
Yep. So final lap, Hill tries to go around the outside. He's Sutton at paddock, Hill bend to get run out wide, and that allows Ingram up the inside as well. And Hill, I think, drops away down. Drops, I think, 3 or 4 positions at the end of all that, and ends up losing, I think, third in the championship to Sutton. He did get past Camish though, which was nice of Dan. So he got 1 place back after that.
Yeah.
And but I think Sutton still managed to get second in the championship after all that.
It was a pretty ballsy move from Ingram as well to put his nose in there.
I agree.
Paddock in the situation he was in. And he was asked about it at the end, and he went, "Well, I'm a racing driver. Of course I'm going to do it." I was like, that's a good answer, actually.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
No.
Cook did put a lot of pressure on Lloyd, but Dan managed to hold off for the full race, so well done to him to take the win. And then the final shot of the season was Michael Crease on his roof.
Yes, I know.
Crease!
What a way to end the year.
Yeah, no, it just cuts from Tom Ingram celebrating the car, and all of a sudden, Crease on the roof, climbing out the window.
I know.
What's happened here? How has this happened?
It's like, we need more sponsor coverage. Do something.
But they didn't have the sponsors on the bottom of the car, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
No.
The car upside down is a Toyota. That's the classic quote,
Yeah.
isn't it?
That was good exposure for Toyota. Yeah, even though it was the two drivers taking each other out of first and second place, they got their exposure back 3 times over.
Oh yeah.
So that one, we don't see a TV replay, but there's a fan cam view of it, of which it looks
Which
like.
also happens to Creasy.
Yeah.
Like, remember earlier in the year at Brands Hatch where there was like a start line thing with Chilton?
Yeah.
And we didn't see it on the camera properly until Creasy got sent a video.
Yeah. So Creasy's posted this on his Twitter, and he's not too happy about it, understandably, but it looks like it's Jade Edwards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who
Just
turns him across the front of the car. Again, we're only seeing one view, but from the off-board view that we have, it looks like she turns him and sticks him on his roof, which is not in the last corner of the last race.
Yeah.
She
2
got,
penalty points.
Yeah, and
Sorry,
she got
interrupted
reprimanded for that. Apparently, he was unhappy on Twitter because apparently in the steward room or whatever, she was blaming him. And he's been liking tweets saying that she's not that quick and she's not that good and all this.
Oh, well, that's a bit far.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's cool, not happy.
He makes a robust move. We can definitely say that. Down the inside of the final corner. But there is a car width there, and it's side-to-side contact. So to me, that was a harsh but fair move. And then from our angle, we don't have the right perspective. But it does look like she turns right into him and he spears off left. But we maybe can't tell if he's also pushing left a bit. But ultimately, the judges, a fact, decided 2 penalty points for Edwards.
Yeah, because it might be that he was squeezing her slightly.
Exactly.
But,
yep.
She can back out. Because
But
she
if
wasn't
it
going to
is
get the place back. So.
Yeah, if it is her fault, that's the second time she's been involved in an incident this season. Didn't she take Shedden out?
Shedden was last year at Silverstone, wasn't
it? Let's scrub that. Rewind. That was last year. You're right.
Yeah, that was last year that coming to no pit straight.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
They both well, I think she just decided you're going on the grass here, pal.
Yeah.
And put them both off. Again, I was honest, she decided that's what it looked like. But that sad end to the season for Creasy. But Ingram
He's a clever bagger, though.
He's a what? A bagger?
He's a clever bagger. I got the reference.
Ah, right, okay.
It's one of his sponsors.
Oh, is it? Oh, dear.
And Dan Lloyd won the worst race of the season to win because no one remembers it.
Oh, yeah, completely forgot he was in that race.
Yeah, I didn't think he got interviewed after it.
He did, but
he did
right at the end. I always wonder with that. Louise went and stood next to Tom Ingram for ages while he was being congratulated by everyone. I'm thinking, just go and interview Dan Lloyd at this point.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a long interview.
No.
Did you see Sutton brought across the number 1?
Yeah, that was lovely touch.
From his car.
I thought.
Yeah, that was cool. But then they asked him, what do you think? And he was like, congrats, that's all I've got to say. So it was a nice touch. And then obviously I still wanted to win. Yeah. Which is fair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And his dad came across, didn't he, as well, straight away?
Yeah. I was surprised we didn't see Jason Plato at this point doing a full John Terry.
Yeah.
He's got the Ginsters overalls and everything on just to go over on it. That would have been classic.
Yeah.
Just on that, it was really sad all weekend to see his name just go slowly down the positions.
Yeah, but that's how it's been all year, really. He's
apart from Stetson.
I was going to say one race.
And Thruxton.
Yeah, it's a shame. No 98th, 99th and 101 for him.
No.
But end of an era. End of an era for him. Also, as I mentioned, Ricky Collard retiring. Rick Parfitt then slated his car on social media.
We should read that out. Have you got it?
I don't, but it was like a bag of bits they've put together. The engine's too big. I've no engineers. Like, this is a pile of crap.
It starts out with Phil Grant. Ignorant comment, Phil.
Oh, yeah.
Which it kind of is, but then at the same time it's not, because all this information here came from a Facebook post by Rick Parfitt Jr. It's not in the broadcast. There's not a news story about it. Which is why I would love the British touring cars going back to where they... Anything slightly controversial they just don't cover anymore.
Yeah.
And the media game to get more people talking is actually to cover some of that stuff sometimes. But anyway, he just says he got what he paid for ultimately. So, old car with old components, no pre-season testing, no in-season testing. No regular team, and that might mean personnel. No data or race engineer, or guess regular race engineer. A car that was running higher than all others because the engine didn't fit, so had to lower the floor tray, which killed handling, and so much more. Now, this is all alleged and from one side, so you never know, right? From a driver who's obviously struggled most of the year. But anyway, there seems to be some valid reasons there.
And took a weekend off to go play some weddings.
So, yeah, there is that.
I can't remember now, but he was driving an Infinity, wasn't he?
Yep.
The Carl Boardley's one from last year, I presume.
Yeah, run by Team Hard.
Yeah. So why was the engine not fit? Was it a different engine from last year?
Maybe with the hybrid put in. It's a little different.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Weird.
I just
I
find it
wonder if
weird
that's
that
actually
the other
affected
ones...
the other Infinities.
Yeah, that's what I'm...
This is where we need a investigative journalist.
A roving pit lane reporter.
A roving pit lane reporter, exactly. That one.
So do you think we'll see Rick back next year?
No.
Unless he's got some more money for a Team Hard, then I doubt it.
Yeah, no, I don't see Rick being back.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'd be shocked. Again, if he gets the money, then fair enough. But I think he's kind of burnt his bridge maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Team Hard there.
Yeah.
Funny, they're a funny Team Hard, aren't they? Some cars are flying that they have, and then other ones you're like, why is that person there? But I think Rick's maybe just shone a light on why there's such a disparity in sometimes between their cars.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Like Bobby Thompson's talking about, if we get a bit of testing, this car's capable of podiums next year. Alluding to, hey, let's try and get some sponsorship and go again. Which she obviously did get a podium this year as well, right?
I mean, who was the driver there at the beginning of the year? Before Will Powell?
Oh, God. You got me now.
I want to say... Oh, damn it.
We're going to have to go back.
I think it was Will Powell, though, wasn't it?
No, I was going to say George Gamble. Obviously, it's not him. It's a name... There's a G in
James
it.
Gornall?
No. But I'm now wondering if I'm thinking of last year.
Oh, no, Gornall did one round of the Hyundai and was really good, wasn't
Was it not Jack Goff was supposed to be in it?
Yes, but he never actually did he?
No,
That's what it was.
The deal fell apart.
Yeah. I think Powell was at the start of the year.
Yeah, that must be what I'm thinking of.
Hamilton. Then Baldley and Oliphant were two filling ones. And obviously Aaron Taylor-Smith did the whole season.
Yeah. I must say, the guy that does the BTCC website has done Rick Parfitt in here. He's put him 32nd in championship behind Carl Bordley. And Tom Oliphant. One round each. The guys decided to put Rick Parfitt bottom. Like, that's really cheeky. That's really poor. So, yeah, well done, Tom Ingram, I guess, in the championship.
Oh, yeah, congrats.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Did we enjoy the first year of hybrid over what we used to have?
It was I think we said this before, it's the purest season. It's really meritocracy now, where the best teams, the best drivers have risen to the top more often. And I did like it, but I would, and even if the hybrid's confusing, I'm used to it, but I would just like a little extra differential between not having it and having it. But that may or may not be possible with that battery size and that motor size without some hardware changes. And if there's hardware changes, it's expensive for everybody again. Oh, mind you, they rent the system, don't they? But it's expensive for whoever makes it. Yeah, so I feel like it was 80% there. And what I worry for next year is they'll just bring back the different tyre compounds again to mix it up more.
If they're going to do anything, bring back ballast. Not as much, but like a smaller amount of ballast rather than tyre changes.
Could do.
But hopefully it wouldn't come to that either.
I honestly want it with no ballast and no tyre changes and just a more effective hybrid, but yeah, it might not be technically possible.
Exactly, yeah.
So, tyre changes it is. No joy.
Also, well done to Napa Racing for winning the title, which is I was a bit surprised. That's been BMW's title, I think, for a few years. And considering that there's only 2 cars fighting the Napa stable against 3 or 4 of the BMWs, It's quite well done.
Yeah, excellent result. And Josh Cook for the independent title. And
Yeah.
Hill for the Wingfoot.
The most important one.
The most
Oh,
important.
yes.
Oh, of course, doesn't Jake Hill come under MB Motorsport?
For
yes, he does.
Teams, yeah.
Mhm. Yes, they finished 5th.
Yeah.
Sorry, he finished 5th, I should
Yeah.
say, because it was just him.
And let's hope they
Yeah.
got paid by Rocket.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I've enjoyed this year. Next year, we've got a track change as well. Frixton's not going to be there twice. We're then going to have Long Donington
Oh,
for
yes.
one of the rounds.
Well remembered.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that, but that's going to be interesting.
Yep.
Any slight variation is a win.
I still want
Miles.
Long Silverstone, but I know
Yeah.
that's not going to happen.
I'll even take the other short one, which was going to happen in the COVID year, but didn't.
The
And-
international.
Yeah. Is there still the endurance race rumoured for next year, or is that...
Well, we don't
quiet.
know. I was just literally picking it up from what Plato said in an interview on the Knockhill YouTube channel.
Yeah.
He's a reputable source, right? He should know.
He should.
So maybe that's the maybe question of a maybe or maybe not, in that he might come back for the endurance round, right? If it ever happens.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this because I was watching the Bathurst 1000 this week, and as I said, it's my favourite race. I love it. I mean, that track's incredible, but the amount of sponsorship and production value and fans that are there is just unparalleled in touring cars. And it's 2 drivers per car, 1,000 Ks, so it's like 160 odd laps. And the only slight concern I have with a 2-driver race like that, which could be epic, is as soon as you entertain pit stops, it gets a lot more expensive for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Do you have to hire a pit crew? Because they're not really used to it in British touring cars, right? Not at speed. Do they have to get different wheel gun equipment, change the wheel design, change how the ingress or getting into the car for the drivers? Is that going to have to be different? Do they need extra equipment to keep them cool during a race? So in Bathurst, they have like cool suits and fans in the helmets, which James Thompson used to run all the time with. So, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of expenses there, plus all the training and extra tyres and all sorts. However, if it's done right, it brings up a load of extra sponsorship dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus you've got to have a lot more lap cars and trying to figure all that out during mid-race, which they don't really have to do.
And a prediction, when the races get longer, the rear-wheel drive cars will come to the fore because of the tyre wear.
True.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see it, so maybe that could be the game changer for next year.
Well, either that or we could go to the Knockhill Rallycross stage, or bring back the Super Prix.
The Super Prix, oh man, that's never going to happen unless the cars are electric, right? But I would
Yes,
love
I know, but it would be lovely.
that. Oh, yeah.
Could do reverse grid or reverse track at Knockhill.
I think there was a reason they said they can't to do with the hairpin, as it would be the first corner.
Yeah, there isn't a runoff there, really.
TCR managed it, though.
Yeah.
It's more boring as a race,
Yeah.
weirdly. But it would be a mad if you did a reverse grid and reverse track for the third race.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Just confuse everyone. Oh dear. So yeah, good season in British touring cars.
Yeah.
Different, but good.
Can we just
And-
quickly do a couple of news bits? I know you
Sure.
mentioned there, but Ricky Collard's retiring at 26 years old. That's mad.
Yeah, I didn't even hear that. It's only when you said it I was like, really?
Yeah, they mentioned it in the commentary for one of the races that, Ricky Collard's his final race. And I was like, why? And then
Yeah.
Autosport had the article. In which he's quoted saying, the sport's changing a lot. There's a reason why people like Jason are retiring.
Yeah, because he's
I
really
thought-
old.
Yeah. But it's got to be alluding to money, right? But
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, he's got a one-way ticket to Australia, so wish him well.
Yeah,
and Tom
good
Chilton's re-signed for next year.
Mhm.
And we could have Napa Racing have a rear-wheel drive car, we'll see.
Are they switching from the Fords?
Well, they're undecided, but there's definitely an
possible.
article, where Mr. Osborne Sr. has been quoted as saying, we're looking into something. Which in turn confirmed that for this year, they were going to run with... Before Sutton joined Napa Racing at Ford, him and Warren Hughes were working on a Jaguar XE rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be nice.
But it's made of aluminium. And
It's a great material.
right, exactly. Now, they were thinking it's like you know how they did the Boxer engine with low centre of gravity as like a loophole and an advantage, allegedly.
Yeah.
Apparently, how their cars are constructed to the rules with the roll cages, aluminium might have provided some examples, and other teams weren't so keen on it, basically. Did I say examples? I meant advantages.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes more sense now.
Yeah, and I know we've got to go, pause, but I've just bought Autosport Digital that came out today, and there's an article called Tin Top Silly Season Ramps Up. So I'm going to read it now, quickly, see if we get any goss.
Well, while you're
Fair
doing
enough.
that, I can just sum up that George Gamble managed to finish 13th in this championship in his first year, which I think
Well
is
done.
reasonable. He tailed off a little bit throughout the year and then came back a bit by the end.
Won a race, did he not?
He did.
I think our Gamble Watch project's been a success.
Yeah, second in the Jack Sears Trophy as well.
We're going to be the Jason Plato in this situation, and it's
yes,
all because
it's
of
gonna
us
be him.
that he's done so well.
And,
So,
we'll have to figure someone else for next year, maybe, or stick with George. We'll see.
yeah, we've picked a good mascot for this year, I suppose. He's always been on TV.
True. With his Hooch sponsorship.
I would. What I would like next year is to be a bit more competitive at the back again. Losing underneath seems to have killed the action at the rear, for better or worse. I'm not going to say,
Yeah.
but I'd like to see a bit more of that on TV. The few people that disappointed me this year, I was expecting a bit more from Ricky Collard. I was expecting a bit more from Chilton. Jade Edwards didn't really take the step forward that I kind of thought she might. There's been and then the two Hondas have been not really at the front as you'd expect, with
No.
Sheridan and Rowbottom.
Well, all of the Hondas, really. It's only Josh Cook that seems to have been able to really get anything out of it.
And the Infinities have been horrendous.
Yes.
Considering they won the title last year, every weekend Aidan Moffat's on Twitter complaining about setups and all sorts of problems. So that Infinity should have been so much better than it was. It's such a shame.
Weird one. Maybe their engines
Yeah.
don't fit.
True.
Very true.
One more person that was a big disappointment, it was Sam Osborne as well.
Oh, he's just not stepping it up, is he? But he has good Clio heritage, right?
I think so. I can't really remember now, but he got 1
I seem
point.
to remember he did okay in Clios before that was replaced by Minis.
Yeah, but 1 point over the entire season. Him, Butel, and Edwards.
Wow, 1 point. That is not good.
Well, Dexter in his first season got 5. James Gornall got 2, and he was only in there for one meeting, wasn't he?
Yeah, and in one of those races, the suspension collapsed, right?
Yeah. So there's a big question mark on him for me. I know he's going to be there probably because of the, shall we say, the Lance Stroll syndrome.
It is a bit. Yeah. So speaking of which, I mentioned that team was looking at a rear-wheel drive car for next year potentially. So this was a couple of weeks ago when on Touring Car Times, Peter Osborne was quoted, and now it appears during the final race weekend there was a team vote to veto their initial idea, which was the Audi A5 for next year, which is Quattro all-wheel drive. Now you can have an all-wheel drive car in the BTCC if you run it as a rear-wheel drive car.
Yeah.
However, that is if the engine is transverse, which is what the Subaru was. Sorry. Yes, I think that's right. So you can only run rear-wheel drive if the engine is longitudinal, north to south. But the Audi is four-wheel drive with a transverse engine. So they've asked for a tweak of the rules, which did not get a significant majority to pass. So they're not allowed to use the Audi. Apparently, there was a tweak of the rule when Rob Austin used his A4.
Yeah.
But then that, once it disappeared, they sort of reinstated as it was and haven't gone back since. He's played down talk apparently that they're now looking at the Mercedes C-Class, so we'll see what happens there. And the other game changer is that Jake Hill might be on the move.
Ooh.
Unconfirmed. This is thanks to the excellent Marcus Simmons in Autosport, so buy Autosport. But he's stating that there's something happening between MB Motorsport and Sicily Motorsport. So it could be that Hill moves to Sicily, And it could also be that Morgan moves to WSR. So Blundell described it as just a straightforward business and analysis study, and nothing more than that.
So Jake would be moving from a BMW to a BMW.
Yeah, so staying at BMW but a different team. Maybe if there's some sponsors involved there or something like this. You never know, right? Hill said on Sunday apparently that I just hope I can come back and do it all again next year. I'd rather retire from touring car racing than drive anywhere else. Interesting. So it seems up in the air with the MB Motorsport lot.
Yeah, it was interesting. The main thing I took from that is I want Rob Austin back.
Right, same. He had that one off, was it a year or two ago in the Astra and did all right?
Yes.
At Thruxton. He did way better than anyone expected in a front wheel drive car, and you just sort of think, oh no, because he had that seasons in the Toyota and Alpha, didn't he? But
yeah.
I always got the impression if he was in something half decent, he could still do the job. I think he still works for Speedworks, right? Making front splitters.
Yeah, he does. They interviewed him a few times on the grid.
Ah, right, okay. Oh, yeah, because he was driver training Collard, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That was worthwhile. You're gone now.
Sorry?
That was worthwhile, putting that money into Collard. You're gone now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So-
one last thing. Yeah, so
Okay.
Chilton is going to remain with Accelerator, as we said. And Ingram's still there till the end of last season. Interesting. So Chilton was driving the ex-Chris Smiley Hyundai. For next season, he will definitely get an all-new car. As a sweetener for the deal, I suspect.
Yeah. Well, that could help.
Yeah, you never know. Right, that's it. Sorry for the rumour update and elongating the podcast. We're out of time. Let's bounce.
Yes, so thank you for joining us again. Thank you guys for carrying on the podcast when I was a gallivant in the world. We've managed to cover every single BTCC race this year.
Yep.
Again. So hope
Loved
you've
it.
all enjoyed, and we'll be back. We'll be back with F1 at some point next week, because I know you've missed that. And then we'll be back in the new year with British Touring Cars and next season's F1. Our preview show for the British Touring Cars is number most popular, so that'll be nice for the listenership.
Looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you all, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Yep.
Thank you. Bye.
I want some ginsers now.